Fuck! Fuck! Fuck!
Oh, you stupid motherfucker!
You're gonna find me dead! I'm gonna kill myself!
Hit the fucking guy! What the fuck is he doing?
I'm gonna be hanging from the bathroom!
They got the way!
Don't ask me to do nothing! This is nothing!
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Steel Here podcast, where I'm your host, Kevin Adams, alongside my partner in crime, Jersey Jerry. Jerry Don, it has been 6 weeks since we've been on this microphone, and when the season ended and the Pittsburgh Steelers lost to the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo, the quarterback room looked a whole hell of a lot different than it does as it stands today. The Steelers go out, they get Russell Wilson, they go out, they get Justin Fields, and they trade Kenny Pickett to the Philadelphia Eagles. Jerry Don, could you have ever dreamt that these would be the Pittsburgh Steelers heading into 2024?
No, not at all. In fact, I actually envisioned it that it would be Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph again.
Oh, yeah.
Battling for QB1. I thought if they kept Kenny and Mason, it would be I think it would be a fair, true battle. Whatever Tomlin thought, that's what he was going to go with. And then Omar Khan, Mike Tomlin, the Rooneys. This is the first free agency where the Steelers have actually legitimately shocked me. Like, they shocked me a little bit when they went after Minka, but this is just crazy what they have done so far. Cutting guys that, their problem year after year is they hang on to guys so long for no reason as well. Like, guys like, let's say, we held on to, in my opinion, just, this is just me. We held on to a lot of cornerbacks. We held on to, I think, Edmonds for a little bit too long. I didn't really like him that much. I was a big hater towards him. Artie Burns, linebackers. We held on to, what's his face? That one dude. Oh my God, 3 years ago, we drafted him. He's been so bad.
Devin Bush.
Devin Bush. I mean, that's been their problem. Like, for years is like they give these guys like so many years and they like think they're going to get better and they don't get better. This is the first free agency in the first year, under Omar Khan, essentially has a clean slate now, is like they're doing things that we want them to do, that we think they should do. I think it's a good thing. We'll see. Russell, proven Super Bowl champion, multiple Pro Bowls, all pros. He's a leader. He's always been a leader. Corny at times, yes, for sure.
Oh, he's corny.
Definitely a cornball. But you know what? I watched his press conference, and he says a lot of the right things. It seems like his career has been like, brought back from the dead in a way. Like he was dead in Denver.
And he's been humbled by that. In my opinion, the Russell Wilson that stood at that press conference and said the things that he said yesterday for the Steelers, and this was before Kenny had been traded. He was saying all of the right things, though, Jerry. I mean, he was very, very deflecting of when they would ask him, about the quarterback situation. Are you going to be quarterback one? Is there going to be a back and forth with you and Kenny? How are those things going to look? And he said all of the right things. Basically, he's just coming here to try and make the team better. We heard that Kenny had that Russ had sent Kenny a text message like there's 32 starting quarterbacks in the league, but it's a quarterbacks club. Allegedly, Kenny didn't handle those things well. Jerry, before we get into all the other moves, let's just take this thing back 3 weeks ago. It's a Friday night. Jerry Don calls me. It's like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And he's like, Kev, I got some news. We can't talk about this. We can't say anything about it openly. But there was word that Kenny's agent had been informed that the Steelers were looking to make a move at quarterback. And so, we had sat on that for a week, 2 weeks, and then you start to hear the rumblings that the Steelers.
I think we didn't post anything for like 2 weeks.
No, nothing. And then people would, were tweeting me and I would reply like, look, all I'm saying is, we know that Kenny's agent was told that he they were looking to make a move at quarterback. Who for? We didn't know at the time. We had no fucking idea. We hypothesized that maybe it would be Fields, but we weren't
until the
sure.
next day. The next day we found out.
Yep. And then so the Russ stuff comes out. So we're like, okay, it's got to be Russ. At the time, Kenny is under the understanding that he's still going to end up getting a chance to be QB1. And again, that comes back out. Mike Tomlin, I guess, tells him that Russ is going to end up starting the season as quarterback 1 going into camp. Kenny didn't take that well. Steelers end up shipping him off to Philadelphia. They swap they end up taking 2 fourths, and then they swap their 4th for a 3rd. So essentially the Steelers upgraded draft position. And then today they go out, they use a 6 that could possibly become a 4 if Field starts more than 10 games, which is still robbery, but a 6, Jerry Dawn, especially when the Steelers are saying that Russell's going to be the starter, a 6th round pick for Justin Fields. It's robbery by Omar Khan, baby.
No, 100%. And I want to get back to Kenny for a second. Where I'm confused now. Listen, I got a call. I'm obviously not going to say the guy's name. He's an NFL agent. He's not Kenny's agent. He called me 2 weeks ago saying the Steelers are going after a quarterback. They think it's Justin Fields. Then the next day came out, it was Justin Fields. He said to me, I told Kevin, I think they tried to get Justin Fields. I think the Bears were not really taking anything less than probably a 3rd at the time or 4th or whatever.
Yep.
That's what I think happened. And then the Steelers kind of backed off. They said, fuck this. We're going to go get somebody else. We'll go get Russ. They get Russ.
For peanuts.
For peanuts. And then I think, and I'm sure a lot of Steelers people, fans, writers, thought that was kind of it. And then all of a sudden, they go and get fucking Justin Fields. But what I don't understand is, if you're Kenny Pickett, listen, I know a lot of the city turned on him in a way, after the season last year and after the reports that he didn't want to suit up and whatnot. And let's face the facts. We knew that already. I mean, we knew the truth before the game.
We knew Friday, Friday before Sunday even came, before any of this was reported, any of it was reported. And I have the fucking text messages with the date stamps on it. Yeah,
like the thing is, like, listen.
He did. Let's be clear. He did not want to back up Mason Rudolph. He didn't feel it was fair. Kenny was told during the Bengals week that if he was cleared and healthy for the Seattle game, he would get the start. Mason goes out and balls against the Bengals.
Yeah.
They then tell Kenny, hey, you're going to end up backing up Mason. He didn't like that. He did not feel good about doing that. So they said, okay, we'll keep you out another week then, and then you'll suit up again next week.
Yeah. I mean, we have the text messages from Friday and stuff like that. The thing is, like, this was, in a weird way, I'm kind of glad this kind of happened, because it's really hard to be friends with, NFL player on your favorite team. And, there's a lot of stuff that you don't want to say and shouldn't say, you know what I mean?
Right.
Listen, I appreciate everything Kenny's done his last couple of years in Pittsburgh. Where I'm really confused on, and I won't ask him because it is what it is now. He's gone. He has a new journey in Philly. Why would you want to go be a backup for Jalen Hurts? And why wouldn't you listen? If they even told him, like, hey, you're going to be quarterback 2. There's not going to be a camp battle. You're quarterback 2 going into this year. We're going to go with Russ at QB1. Listen, this is the NFL. Anything can happen. Russ can throw 4 picks in 2 weeks and look terrible and have 100 yards. I mean, let's face the facts. He's 35 years old.
Right.
Okay.
There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee with Russ Wilson.
No guarantees. Knock on wood. Russell Wilson can get hurt in training camp. You're the only other quarterback on the roster. Whatever quarterback the Steelers bring in through the draft, you're QB2. You're not QB3.
Exactly.
Like, why wouldn't you just say, hey, okay, you know what? I had a rough year. We did win some games with me, yes. Okay, I have a winning record as a Steelers quarterback. Okay, let me just take as much information and learn as much as I can from Russell Wilson. He's a veteran. He's 35. He's been doing this for a long, long time. He's won a Super Bowl. let me just sit back for a year, learn a little bit. If anything happens, I know I'm next up.
Yep.
I know Tomlin is going to give me the ball again. So, but for him to literally want out right away to go sit behind Jalen Hurts,
a guy who's younger and paid.
He's not younger. He's paid already. Okay, Russell Wilson is $1 million guy.
Right. They could easily have plugged Kenny back in.
The Steelers aren't putting up with his shit for 4+ weeks if he's fucked up.
Right.
You know what I mean? So Justin Kurtz could play bad for a whole year straight.
Yep.
He's paid already. They're going to give him the ball next year. Like, that's where I'm very, very confused. And like I said, I'm not going to ask him, why he didn't stay and whatnot. But, like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe he just really turned on the fans and he didn't like the backlash he was getting, through social media and all these. I mean, you have Stephen A. Smith bashing him, Pittsburgh Steelers legends bashing him.
Oh, he took a beating this offseason. I mean, he took a beating.
Yeah, he did. He did. I will say that. But you really want to stick it to somebody, man, you fucking humble yourself and you say, fuck this shit. You know what? I'm going to make this city love me one way or the other. Stick it out. Listen, who knows? I mean, I'll be honest. I don't love Russell Wilson, the quarterback, as much as you do.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a little older. Listen, the only thing we have right now is his experience. He throws a good deep ball still. I'll give him that. He takes a lot of sacks. He doesn't turn the ball over, similar to Kenny Pickett. But the thing is, what I'm most worried about is just the age, man. He's 35 years old.
35 coming off 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, though, Jerry.
Yeah,
if we had 26 touchdowns on the Steelers roster last year and 8 interceptions, there's a chance that they're gonna play for the 1 seed. They're gonna challenge the Ravens for the 1 seed.
I'd agree with that.
And also, when you're looking at Russ, to be clear, if I had my way 3 weeks ago, it would have been Fields first.
Yeah, no, for sure. Me too. And hand up, I wanted Fields from the jump. When we both did, we'd rather Fields from the jump. What is your take on, like? And I don't want to make this all about Kenny Pickett the episode, but we do have to address some things. Like, why wouldn't he stay?
It doesn't make any sense to me. He cowered for, I hate to say that. And there are a lot of people on Twitter that have come at me like, oh, you went to dinner with this guy. Like, he was nice. You hung out with him, all of this shit. We did. Absolutely. Here's the thing though. I wouldn't be me if I couldn't be honest about it. He was not good for the Steelers last year. And when we found out that he did not want to back up Mason Rudolph, which DK Pittsburgh Sports claims he had sources in the room. We have sources that are damn near the horse's mouth. Like, we know for a 100, right? We have the guy. We know he did not want to be the backup. As soon as Jerry told me that, I said he's dead to me. Like, that to me, you are dead to me. I don't give a fuck if you're my mother. If you refuse to do what's best for the team to win games and you act like that, you're dead to me. So for Kenny to turn his back then on the team and not accept the challenge of going into this season as QB2 and have the opportunity that he would have to come back out and right the ship, new scheme, all of those things that he had the ability to come back hypothetically next year. If the Steelers don't want to pay Russ $30 million next year, they still need a quarterback. He's still shoed in the best position to be the guy.
Why wasn't he looking at like that scenario? Like, Russ is they didn't pay Russ. They have zero ties to Russell Wilson.
They're not married to him at all. Not at all.
Not at all, dude. They're married to you. They drafted you in the first fucking round, bro.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
they're married to you.
I hate to say it, he shot himself in the fucking foot. Like, he shot himself. Be careful what you ask for. And it brings me to Deontay Johnson. Be careful what you ask for. Now you get to play on the worst team in football in Carolina. But the Steelers this offseason, they did things we've never seen. And you started it with saying this. They cut guys that we've deserved to be cut. Patrick Peterson. Pat Pete, great guy, nice guy. One came out and said that the Steelers should bring him back because somebody has to mentor Joey Porter Jr. Okay, then be a coach. Then be a fucking coach. We can't keep rostering guys that are on the downside of their career, have lost a step. You saw he played bad in the Bills playoff game. Like, he just lost a step. Nice guy. He's just he's getting slow at a position you simply can't be slow at. They cut Allen Robinson, another guy who slow, lost a step, not much of a contributor there. You get rid of those types of guys that have no business being on the team if you're really trying to improve the roster. And then they go out, they trade guys who are locker room cancers, such as a Deontay Johnson, who I think is incredibly talented. And I'm very worried because we don't have a number 2 wide receiver right now. So from a roster standpoint, it hurt to lose him. But from a team culture standpoint, you have to get rid of those fucking guys, man. You have to.
I did see a report that part of Deontay Johnson being dealt was George Pickens, that they didn't think he was the right guy to mentor George Pickens.
Absolutely. Because, I mean, look at it for call a spade a spade. Is he very talented? Yes. Is he a fucking head case? Absolutely. Did he do shit last year?
Every offseason, there's problems. Every one, the last 3 years.
Right. And he did shit during the season where that Bengals game, to me, from that moment forward, whenever Jalen Warren fumbles, and he doesn't even attempt to block his guy, and the ball is coming to the left side. It's a run play to the left. He's not even attempting to block his guy. Jalen Warren fumbles. He doesn't make an effort to get the ball. You're done, bro. You're fucking done. You can't win with that type of sourpuss attitude. So, get him the fuck out of here. Did I feel like we got a great return for it? Not at all. I really did not think it was a great return. But however, it's addition by subtraction, in my opinion. That is the type of move that you're getting better simply because the room is less of a cancer. You can move forward. Now, does George Pickens have some cancerish, type of attitude issues? At times, yes. When you get him the ball, he seems totally fucking fine, though.
Yeah.
It could just be
the ball.
Right.
He's good.
Right.
And listen, I think, I don't even think this is a hot take. I think George will flourish with Russell Wilson. I think
I agree.
Russell Wilson is a good enough guy, veteran. He's been around a long time. I think Russell Wilson, if anything, is the mentor for George Pickens.
Agreed. I just think I think Russell Wilson also has the arm. Again, let's keep it all the way 100. Kenny's arm's not that strong. It's not that strong. There are some things I call him off air. I have names. He has a squirt gun arm. It reminds me of a guy many years ago that played for the Jets. They drafted him in the first round. I can't remember what the fuck his name was, but he would always be referred to as a squirt gun arm. Just guys that don't have elite arm strength. And if you have deep ball route runners and you don't have elite arm strength, it costs you in the NFL. It does cost you. Russell Wilson is one of the best deep ball throwers in the NFL. He is one of the best deep ball throwers. And so when you have George Pickens on the outside, he's going to get fed. Jerry, he went for over 1,100 yards on 59 catches this year.
Yeah, which is crazy.
It's unheard of, almost 20 yards per catch. That's unheard of. So that guy has to be fucking ecstatic. We know, we've talked to some other guys in the locker room, in the DMs behind the scenes. They're fucking thrilled about this Russell Wilson and Justin Fields thing. Absolutely ecstatic about it. For me, Jerry, the biggest thing about landing Russell Wilson comes down to there were 3 people he mentioned in his presser that were recruiting him. TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Minkah Fitzpatrick. When you have those 3 guys who, in my opinion, are the heart and soul of the Pittsburgh Steelers, they are the three dogs, the stalwarts that you build around that I would say are the most Pittsburgh Steeler-esque. When you have those 3 guys making phone calls to recruit a quarterback when you still have Kenny Pickett on your team, to me, that's whenever I was like, man, they could trade him because the locker room has obviously quit on him. And you heard last year guys wanted Mason instead of Kenny. So it just... Did the Steelers set Kenny up to succeed from the beginning? Absolutely not. I mean, they didn't. Matt Canada, and then you bring Matt Canada back. He had a dog shit offensive line. I'm not making excuses for Kenny because it's the NFL, and you're never going to get thrown into a great situation if you're a first-round quarterback. More than likely, you're being drafted by a team that is not in great position to succeed right out of the gates. But he just didn't help himself either. And then the off-the-field stuff, when they ask him, is Mason, have you learned anything being the backup with Mason as the quarterback? No is his answer. His attitude just went to shit. And on a team where they've dealt with such bad attitudes for the last 5 to 7 years, it is refreshing that they're cutting all of the cancer out and really going to try and get back to what winning football is supposed to be about. And it's all team first.
The most risk on the Steelers roster right now for like a true cancer is one person.
Right.
And that's George Pickens.
And he's young, and he's still so young that you can work with him. You know, there's time there.
Which I'm happy they bought in a guy like Russell Wilson. Now, my question to you, actually, fuck the question. Patrick Queen, another guy. They said, fuck it. We're going to go out and go get this guy. Dude, I did not see that coming at all. I mean, that is not even a risky move. He is really fucking good, dude.
He's a dog.
Is so good. I mean, he's going to be the play caller on defense. He's awesome. He's fast. He plays sideline to sideline. He's great covering tight ends, running backs out of the backfield.
He's young.
He's young, dude. He didn't cost a ton of money. You know what I mean?
They structure Omar Khan, man. I cannot say this enough about Omar Khan. The Pittsburgh Steelers might have a top 3 GM in football. I know it's only 2 years, and that sounds crazy to say.
He's very good.
The things he's done in this offseason to really improve the Pittsburgh Steelers in just over a month after the season ends, I mean, you can't say enough good things about it. Being able to flip the sore spot on the roster being the quarterback position, being able to drastically improve it, not just this year with Russell Wilson, who I am high on, but to have a guy waiting in the wings as far as Justin Fields with immense upside that was in maybe a bad situation in Chicago, to have both of those guys immediately improve the Pittsburgh Steelers at the most valuable position in football. Tip the cap to that. But you then get the guy that it's not just that they signed Patrick Queen, it's that they took him from the Ravens. You know, that's my favorite part, is that like you're bullying your brother in the division. And when you can do that, and Omar Khan gets him for, I think it's like $7 million this season, is going to be his cap hit. That's peanuts, man. Like that is a great contract for the Steelers. Omar Khan is a magician and is a breath of fresh air. And I hate to say this, it makes you wonder what the hell Kevin Colbert was doing the last 5 years or so. Yeah.
I mean, also Kevin Colbert shouldn't have had any say in that draft class. His last one, he shouldn't have had any say there.
No, he had 1 foot out the door. One foot out the door,
which is so stupid that they allowed him to do that. But as far as receiver goes, I know the Pittsburgh Steelers, some fans out there want Tyler Boyd. I do not at all.
I don't love Boyd. I do not
like him. Do you see them trading for somebody else?
Well, so at this point, and again, these are some rumblings.
Got Van Jefferson, but
Van Jefferson, who is more of a 4, but high upside. This is the thing. I tweeted he's not going to be a 2. He's likely not even your 3. I mean, he's probably definitely not your 3. But the guy has 4.39 40 speed. That was 4 years ago or so. So maybe he's around a 4.4, 4.45, which is still lightning fucking fast. He's good deep ball catcher. Again, he's the type of guy who's going to get you maybe 20 catches a season, 4 touchdowns. They're going to be long balls, something like that. Is he a game wrecker? No, but that type of guy makes plays over the course of a season that add up to wins. I love the signing personally, but there's still a big hole at wide receiver. We still need wide receiver too. What we heard is that the Steelers have kicked the tires on Brandon Ayuk, a trade for Brandon Ayuk, and they've kicked the tires on Deebo Samuel. So it's not as though they're not looking. I think that a great path forward for the Steelers would be to sign Mike Williams. Chargers released Mike Williams.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Over Boyd. For me, Boyd is just
Boyd's not it for me, dude.
No, he's just a little he's just above fucking Allen Robinson. I just don't, he just doesn't excite me. There's just nothing, there's nothing wrong with him. He's just not like an electric dynamic football player. However, if they sign him to be the 2, and then ultimately they draft a guy, which they've met with a lot of receivers at the combine and at pro days, they're meeting with wide receivers. So they're not even hiding the fact that they're going to go wide receiver early. If they take a wide receiver in the first round and it pushes Boyd to the 3, I can live with that. He's probably a great 3. I don't want him to be the 2. If you can draft a guy to be a great receiver as your 2, the hard thing is I just don't like relying on rookies right out of the gate at wide receiver. While many teams do, it is successful in today's NFL, it's just still a risk to lean on a rookie right out of the gates and hope that he's very productive. And I don't want to go through this season where wide receiver is a big miss for us. So I really, ideal world, the rest of the moves that the Steelers make from here on out, we need a center and we need a wide receiver. We know that those are the 2 biggest holes. They're not positions of need, they're holes. We need a wide receiver too. We need a center. There's a guy named Connor Williams out there. He was the Dolphins center last year, and he was also the highest rated center in football by our friends at PFF, those motherfuckers. But he tore his ACL in early December. And so his timeline for being able to be ready to go is sometime around August to September. Now, again, we were told that they told Nate Herbig to approach this offseason as if he would be the center for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So is there a world where
him or James Daniels? Him?
Nate Herbig is who they told to approach the offseason as if you're the center. So to know that, they could package Herbig at the beginning of the season to start maybe a couple of games. If they sign Connor Williams, you sign Connor Williams to a nice deal. Then you're not married to having to draft a center in the first round. Then you can go get a wide receiver in the first round. And it is a talented wide receiver draft. And then you can maybe in the second round, look at a right tackle. And then you slide Broderick Jones back to the left tackle where he belongs, get Dan Moore off the starting lineup, and then you have a pretty solid offensive line. You have a good wide receiver 1. You have a good wide receiver 2 if you draft a dog. And if Tyler Boyd is your 3, the Steelers have a good offense. Pat Freiermuth, 2 great running backs. And now you've upgraded the quarterback position. There's reason to be optimistic as a Steelers fan as we sit here today, which 3 weeks ago, I never could have thought we could say.
Yeah, me either. Exactly. No, 3 weeks ago, I thought this was a year where the Steelers would give Kenny one more shot and let them go, have a competition in camp, and they just did the total opposite of anything they normally do, which I am happy about.
It's great. It's refreshing.
My thing is you have some money right now. You have enough cap space next year. The cap is going up again.
Yep.
Why haven't you traded for a wide receiver? Like, you have enough to pay a wide receiver. Why haven't you done that yet? Like, I just don't understand that.
I mean, okay, so to play devil's advocate, maybe there are guys that they would like to trade for that they're just waiting until the price makes more sense, the same way they just played the Justin Fields thing. You know, it's still very early. Omar Khan is seeing a much bigger picture than we are right now, and he's obviously playing his hand fucking perfectly at this point because you're giving up nothing and you're getting high-end players at this point. So there could be a world where he is looking to make a move for wide receiver, but they had to figure out what it was going to take to get Fields first. Now they know they didn't cost them shit. So now they see, okay, we have that third maybe that we traded and got from the Eagles for Kenny. Can we package that and move up and take a wide receiver earlier? Or can we send that and bring a wide receiver in with that? So I don't want to criticize it yet until we fully see what Omar Khan builds. Wide receiver obviously being a concern, but I mean, it's hard to criticize anything that he's done so far because all of these moves have been perfectly executed from Omar Khan's standpoint.
Yeah. No, for sure. Listen, maybe he's waiting, guys hold out a camp and whatnot. You never know. Like,
right.
Just waiting for stuff like that to go down and then poach somebody. And hey, instead of giving up a second round draft pick, you're giving up a third or a fourth, whatever. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You just never know. So maybe he is. I don't know, but I think the defense is going to be very, very good this year.
Oh yeah.
Keanu Benton going into his second year, I think is very big. He played excellent last year. I'm excited for Nick Herbig to get some more time. I know obviously Highsmith and TJ, but listen, I think they signed the safety too.
Yep.
Which was really good. Listen, not the best safety, clearly not the worst, but listen, he's played. He's pretty damn good. He's not like doesn't jump off the page at you, but like he's good enough to fill that spot with Minka. He's probably one of the best safeties Minka has had.
He is the best safety that Minka has had alongside of him. And the nice thing about him is that he's a stay-at-home, safety, or they can bring him down in the box rather, and he can fill that role that last year. Because a lot of people have said, "Where's Minka? Where's Minka been the last season, 2 seasons?" Like he's kind of been a little bit let down, be all the way real about it. He hasn't been the real Minka that we know him to be, but it's because they're asking him to do things that he's not used to doing. He's having to come up and make plays in the box because, guys are getting through our linebackers or they're getting through the defensive line. He was injured last year. This will give him the ability to roam on the back end of that field and be the ball hawk that Minka Fitzpatrick is actually supposed to be, because now you have a running mate in him that can come down, make tackles, a great tackler inside the box. So is he the best safety? No, that they could have signed. You obviously would have looked at a guy like Justin Simmons, but he's still very fucking good at safety. Like he's a good pickup. And Jerry, again, another guy, peanuts. $3 million for this guy, peanuts. That's great. Even fucking money work.
Thank God we got rid of Harvin. Harvin was dog water, bro.
Shit.
Fuck Fields. This just in. There we go. Justin Fields text message. I like that.
Did he text you?
Yeah.
Oh, Jerry Don, we're gonna have to get him on the show at some point.
Some point for sure. Yeah. Good for him. I'm happy. Listen, I think my take for the Justin Fields situation is this. I think Russell Wilson is going to have a good year in Pittsburgh, but I think it would be smart for the Steelers somehow, some way to figure out how to keep Fields next year.
I agree. Just more upside in the long run.
Yeah, I think they got to figure out a way to keep him around, dude. I really do. Unless
Russ balls. Say Russ takes us to the playoffs. We win a game. Maybe we win 2 games, whatever. We make it to the AFC title game. They're signing Russ Wilson then.
100%. Yeah. I mean, of course they are, for sure.
But you have to pray then you can still hold on to Fields. And
I know that's the thing. This is where they're in a weird, like, people think, oh, it's all great. Yeah, it's great right now.
Mm-hmm.
But fast forward 1 year, is it really going to be great? Because you can't pay 2 quarterbacks like that, obviously. Right. Maybe Fields is like, you know what? Fuck it. Russ did ball this year. Maybe he regresses next year. I'm going to take, a couple mil, nothing crazy, and stay in Pittsburgh. I don't want to be one of those quarterbacks who is jumping from team to team to team. Right. I like it here. The culture's great. I'm going to just stick with it. And hey, when my time comes, or who knows, Russ goes down or Russ plays like shit, he's in. You know what I mean?
It's a good position to be in for this. It's better than it was last year for us. I mean, this is a better 100%. Situation. The Steelers have now a proven quarterback. No matter what you think about Russell Wilson, he's a proven quarterback in the NFL.
And the thing, I don't want to cut you off, Kevin. The thing is this. Hear me out. You can also use Justin Fields once or twice a game in some type of wildcat scenario.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I don't think this is Russell Wilson's going to start every game and Justin Fields isn't going to see the field one time. I think the Steelers, I'm not saying they're going to use him as a running back, throughout the year, because they're not, but a game or, a couple plays, that's very, very, like, I think they're going to do something like that.
Right. I mean, you have the ability to now do that. The Steelers haven't been in a position to do that type of stuff out of the quarterback spot in a long time. Now you have somebody who's also capable of you have 2 very capable NFL starters. Whether people think that Fields sucks because he has a ton of turnovers or Russ sucks because he's old, at the end of the day, the Pittsburgh Steelers are better right now than they were 1 month ago. And when you go into free agency, that is the goal. Be better than you were at the season's end going into the next season. And so they've done that. They've upgraded a position at linebacker where we have been begging for some stability since Ryan Shazier went down. Okay, you get that. Now you have a dog in Patrick Queen, somebody the middle of the defense is built around. You have all-pro at TJ Watt on the edge. You have a man who's sniffing all-pro at Alex Highsmith on the other side. You have a perennial all-pro, 3 all-pros for Cam Hayward, who is going to be healthy this year, which we've come to know that he was really banged up with that groin injury and didn't play at 100% all season. Granted, little expensive. I would like to see Cam's contract be restructured because it is very inflated. And then you have all-pro, second-team all-pro Patrick Queen. You have Minkah Fitzpatrick all-pro on the back end. You have an up-and-coming cornerback in Joey Porter Jr. Hopefully, the boy that we got from the Panthers can be decent, Jackson. But
don't forget what Kenny told us in camp last year about Corey Trice.
Yep.
He said people are excited. The city's excited about Joey Porter Jr. They should be excited about Corey Trice. That dude can ball, bro.
He said in camp, he's like, being honest with you, Trice is just as good, if not better, than Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, he comes back from his ACL tear, hopefully, and at this point, he'll have almost been a year of recovery. So he'll be 100% ready to go by the time training camp comes. Maybe that can be a little diamond in the rough for us. I don't think the Steelers are done, Jerry. I really do not think they're done making like legitimate signings. Here's why. They have
How much
somewhere
money do they have to play with right
around
now?
17 left, and that's before they restructure Dante Jackson's contract, the guy that the cornerback that they traded from the Panthers, who they've openly said they're looking to restructure his contract. That'll free up somewhere around $5 million, gets you to 22. You can restructure Minka, Cam, TJ Highsmith. You could restructure some of those deals, create somewhere around another 15 to 20 million. The Pittsburgh Steelers could have $35 million left to play with here. This is not done. They can still go out, sign a Mike Williams, and still you could sign a Connor Williams, the center.
What did Hollywood Brown sign for?
It wasn't that much money. I think like
13
mil, something like that, I want to say.
Yeah, see, that's like the thing is like maybe that wasn't their guy, but like I would have liked a Hollywood Brown. I would have really liked and they had the money, 12 million. I mean, maybe they just don't like him.
Well, so
or maybe they just listen. Maybe they were just crazy and they just love somebody in the first round that they know they can get and are just going to wait to draft him and plug him in right away as the wide receiver too. And they love him and they think he's great and they think this is their guy. And listen, let's face the facts. The Steelers don't usually miss on wide receivers. Couple misses, I mean, Claypool was a miss.
Yeah, but we turned him into Joey Porter Jr., so I'll take that.
So I don't really count that as like a big miss, but as far as on-field production for us, yes, a miss. But, they don't usually miss on wide receivers. I think they're going to, if they don't trade, they're going to have to draft 2 wide receivers. They have no choice.
Agreed.
They have no choice if they're not going to trade for one.
I agree with that. And so, circling back to it, the Marquise Brown thing for me, I think is more just a fit. The Steelers, obviously, Arthur Smith's offense is designed to be run heavy. It is a run heavy offense. It's 2 tight end sets. He gets the tight ends the ball pretty regularly. So hopefully Freiermuth gets an extension at some point soon. But you're talking about they want wide receivers that can block on the outside, like willing blockers. Deontay Johnson, he's just a little wide receiver. He's not a great blocker. Marquise Brown,
wasn't a great blocker at all.
No, Marquise Brown, same build, same structure. So maybe he's just not a great blocking wide receiver. However, Mike Williams, big body, great blocker. Legit, the wide receiver that they could take in the first round out of the draft, big body, great blocker, speed, high-end speed. There are some guys that will be there when they draft at 20. However, they could move up and get a guy 15, 13 if someone falls to them. If Rome Aduns fell, Jerry, I mean, that's a home run.
Yeah, 100%. I would love that. I would love that for sure. Or the kid, I like the kid from LSU a lot. I just don't think, see, like the thing with the wide receivers that like we know are probably going to be really good in the NFL, like your Marvin Harrisons, your Romes, the kid from the neighbors, kid from LSU, like
we're probably not going to get up there to get them.
We're probably not going to be able to get, like, think about it. Even if you go from 20 to, let's say, 10, you still have to give up next year's first round pick.
Exactly.
Plus this year's. Like when we got Devin Bush, we gave up a first rounder, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We had to move up. We gave up a third and we had to move up to take him. So I think we gave up a third to move up to take him, actually.
Yeah. I mean, so like, I don't know, man. We'll see what they're going to do. If I was running the show over there, I would try to get TJ to restructure. I would try to get Cam to restructure and just say to them, hey, listen, you guys want to go win a fucking Super Bowl this year? Well, guess what? We're going to restructure your deals and we're going to fucking go give Justin Jefferson $33 million a year.
God, dude, I would fucking die for Justin Jefferson. I know that's a pipe dream.
I would give him every fucking penny he wants.
I know, dude. I know it's a pipe dream, but
because they have
man.
the cap. They have the cap next year.
I know that's the best part. Next year, the Steelers cap space is somewhere around $100 million. Like that is crazy how much money they're going to have to play with next season. If you can just get through, I tell Jerry this, I was telling him last week, I'm like, if they can just get through signing these guys this year, which is why I loved the way they structured Patrick Queen's deal. This year, the hits eventually come the next year and the following year. If you can just get through this year as far as making the money work, you're going to have the space to play next season.
Yes, that's the thing. Like, why not just go do it?
I know. And so that's T. Higgins is another name. I highly doubt that the Bengals would trade him interdivision like that. I highly doubt it, but he's obviously disgruntled. He just put on his Instagram story, Akon, black screens. You see that? Yeah, locked up by Akon. So he obviously wants out. Stephon Diggs, another guy in Buffalo. He's tweeting cryptic shit every day. He might want out of Buffalo. I mean, so that's why you say, why haven't they gotten a guy right fucking now? As it gets tougher and tougher, and these wide receivers get more disgruntled as they don't get contracts moving through it. Sometimes guys force their way out,
I would love Diggs.
Diggs would be a great receiver, in my opinion. He would fill. Him and George Pickens would be nasty. T. Higgins. I just want somebody of that caliber. No disrespect to Tyler Boyd, Pittsburgh guy. No disrespect. I want somebody of that upper echelon of talent,
for sure,
and not somebody who's in that middle echelon.
Ayuk, Debo.
Oh, either of those guys would be massive for the Steelers. That's why that was the only thing that sucked about the Deontay trade. Like, you were on it earlier. You're like, I don't know, Kev, I don't love it. And I'm like, I love it from like a chemistry standpoint. I don't love it from a standpoint of the roster. But from a chemistry standpoint, I didn't mind it from that. But they really are going to have to. Wide receiver for me is the biggest worry, especially because we know the Herbig thing. We know they told him to be ready to play center. So that might be their plan if they don't have a guy right out of the gates. One way or another, they could take a wide receiver in the first round and get a center in the second round, maybe Frazier out of West Virginia, or vice versa. They could take Powers Johnson and get a wide receiver in the second round. And then with one of their 2/3, they could then double dip and take another wide receiver in that third round.
They have 2/3?
Well, now you have that third that you just got back from the Kenny trade.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So they could double dip in that third round. So they're not, I don't think they're in a terrible position. It feels that way right now because I want to see the final product, but I don't think they're in a bad place right now.
Yeah, I'm just, I was worried about them bringing back Allen Robinson, man. Oh,
agreed.
That was a disaster last year. For that amount of money. That was a disaster. And the wide receiver market, obviously, besides guys like Justin Jefferson, but it's gotten lower.
It has.
It's gotten, like Hollywood Brown. I thought he was going to go for like 17, 18. He didn't.
We wanted Ridley. We wanted Ridley bad, but for that number,
that number was crazy.
That's way richer for my blood for a man that's 23 years old. That's way too high for my blood.
That was a lot of money, but you're starting to see, like, I wonder. Well, the thing is this: Panthers are going to be forced to give Deontay Johnson a good amount of money at wide receiver. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he was worth what we were giving him. Honestly,
18 a year. Deontay Johnson. While I think he's a good receiver, the numbers aren't there. Granted, the quarterback play hasn't been there for him to have great numbers. I don't see him as an $18 million wide receiver. And everyone will harken back to, well, his separation is elite. He's an elite separator. Yeah, I get it. He's an elite separator, but when he has the ball in his hands, it's not like he's very dynamic.
No, he doesn't. He gets no yak.
I've gotten tired of the running backwards shit. Like, I'm just ready. I was ready to close the book on that. I'm glad they closed the book on that. Again, it circles back to they're doing things that they haven't done. And trading Kenny Pickett, who has failed through 2 years in his career, they're willing to admit their mistakes sooner. And for me, that is the number one thing that they haven't done in years past. They would ride guys, like you said, to the ends of their contracts. Devin Bush, Artie Burns. They would ride those fucking guys to the grave when we knew year 2 or year 3. These guys suck. So to be able to cut ties early on a first round pick, a guy that's a Pittsburgh kid they talked highly of a month ago, they asked Tomlin, is your starting quarterback on the roster? Yes, we have full faith in Kenny. Omar Khan's carrying the water. And all the while I'm tweeting things like, they're saying all the right things now because they have to. That's just smart politics. That's good politics. Say all the right shit until you don't have to say it. And then bang, Kenny's not even on the team anymore. So it just goes to show you don't listen to all the things that they say. It's all coach speak. They're telling you what they have to tell you until they don't have to tell you that anymore.
Exactly. Then it'll never be brought up again.
Right. It's over. And at the end of the day, the fans just want to win. So it is sad what's happened to Kenny. You have Permane brothers, Jerry. Did you see Permane brothers?
That was diabolical.
Permane, for those that don't know, Permane brothers sends out a tweet that says, bring your Kenny Pickett jerseys down and we'll give you a $25 gift card on Sunday. It should trade in your Kenny Pickett jerseys for $25. gift card. I mean, the fall from grace for Kenny Pickett was unlike anything I've ever seen on not just the Steelers, just in the NFL in general.
Yes, dude, when there was preseason last year and we watched him play in preseason, I literally said to myself, I'll never forget, I was actually doing some laundry and I was just watching, I think it was the second or third game in preseason. I forget which one it was. And I was watching the TV, folding the clothes. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, this dude is accurate. He's got zip on the ball. He's torching fucking defense. I said, dude, not only is this kid going to be the next Big Ben in Pittsburgh, I think he's going to be better.
It's so fucking wild. And then week one happens. You play the Niners, and from there we're like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, that was the preseason. I'll never take preseason serious ever again.
You can't. Kenny comes off the sidelines in that Bills game, and he's doing the McGregor, the arm flop, and I mean, I couldn't have been more excited at that point. I'm like, we got a dog, dude. We got a fucking dog, and then it just ends up being we had dog shit. No disrespect, but so no, it feels good, especially because there are so many things Jerry and I knew behind the scenes, like a lot of things that we know behind the scenes that happen in the locker room, all of these messages that are relayed, and we can't talk about them. And Jerry can't be honest about the entire situation all the time because he's being a friend. He's being a nice person. Me, however, I obviously midway through the season, I turned my back on it, and that's just, it is what it is, but it's going to be nice to be able to have normal conversations again and not have to bite our tongues.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was like that's a thing, like, having like a lot of followers and stuff on social media and like actually being friends with players and actually like making plans to hang out with players. And, TJ inviting me for lunch one day and dinners with Kenny and chopping it up with Fryermuth on the outside. And it's like, I don't ever want to like put myself in a situation where my friendship is jeopardized, where it's like, I don't want a guy to fucking delete my number and to tell me, hey, fuck off, you scumbag, you're nice to my face. And then, you talk shit. Like, I don't like, whatever. I'm happy. I don't even have to really worry much anymore, about like having to say something that I really want to say, but no, I shouldn't say,
I get it. And so for me, and, word got back to Kenny. He had heard the things that I'd said halfway through the season. Essentially, word got back that, I'm dead. Yeah, I'm dead to him. Like that's the way it came down the pipeline. Jerry's like, Kev, you're dead to him at this point. And that's fine. Yeah. I don't give a fuck. I knew a while into the season he wasn't going to be the guy. I had no problem saying that. But it is going to be, and no disrespect, he was a super nice person. He was a very nice person to me. Incredibly nice. It's not going to stop me from saying that his play on the field was just not good enough. Turn your back on the team, you're dead to me. I, as a Steelers fan, I will always, and this is what Jerry had to tell them. They're like, yeah, that's Kev though. Like the Steelers are his whole life. So like, I wouldn't take it, too seriously. Yeah. I'm never going to carry the water just because of that reason. Like if it means that they don't like what I have to say, they just aren't going to like what I have to say. It is what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
Jerry Don, let's this was a great episode. We needed this. It's been a while. We're going to try, obviously, to now that we're back in the swing of things, we're leading up to the draft. We're going to start to either every week or every other week. We'll get back to giving you guys episodes as far as this goes. Shout out the boys at Zeds.
Wide receiver, and we can go on again.
Yeah, exactly. So when there are big moves, we'll talk about the big moves. Other than that, there's just dead air. We're just feeling dead air, and everybody else has said all the same shit. So we're not going to do that type of stuff.
I do want to give a shout out to. Obviously this is like, we're all Steelers fans and stuff and whatnot. They don't do video, but, for some reason, and don't take this the wrong way, Alex, the last couple nights I've been falling asleep to Alex Kozora, his podcast, to the Steelers podcast. And I put the volume up and I slide the phone under the pillow and I just lay down and listen to what he has to say because he gives great breakdowns. He really does. Oh, yeah. And he's really, really thorough in everything he does. So just a quick shout out to him. He's really, really good. Like I said, they don't do video, but, the audio's there. Yeah, no, they're Kozora at Steelers Depot. They're a solid listen as far as podcasts are concerned.
The boys at Zed's, Jerry, they are the sponsors of the show. We will have some new sponsors this year, which is exciting. But longtime loyal sponsors, Zed's in Southside, vintage clothing, hats, memorabilia, anything you need vintage, go check out the boys at Zed's in Southside. Tell them Still Here Podcast sent you. Jerry, Don, anything else you want to discuss this episode?
I'm thinking about maybe with, just to see if we can make a Still Here YouTube page this year. I would like for people, if they listen to the episode, and we'll bring it up again, I would like to get that page, YouTube page, up and running before week 1.
We should. The only fear that we have with that is we're getting like legitimate views on views. Yeah, right. We're getting legitimate views as far as the show is concerned now. Last year we averaged over 5,000, which puts us in like elite company as far as podcasts are concerned. And so I don't want to risk losing it. So what it's going to have to be is we get the channel created. Maybe we'll have Lucas create the channel, and then we just need to start driving traffic to that. Get all the followers until we completely transfer over to the Still Here podcast channel.
That's the smart way to do it.
Agreed. We'll have to lean into it. We're not just going to spring it on you guys, but we'll have to lean into it and start building it up from there. It feels good to be back on the microphone, Jerry. It feels good to just talk about the Steelers now in a way that they're 3 weeks ago, I was depressed. Honestly, I thought maybe it's going to be a while before the Steelers are relevant again. Today, I don't feel that way anymore. They're not your pappy Steelers anymore, Jerry. They're making moves to be better right now. Tip the cap, Omar Khan. Tip the cap, Mike Tomlin as well for making these things go. Tip the cap to Mr. Rooney, that cheap ass who needs to put a little money into the facility. No disrespect, Mr. Rooney. I'm just kidding around. But no, I mean, I am excited again to be a Steelers fan. I think this is the start of what's going to be a nice little run here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think, their window should be, 2-3 years, 3 years, and try to go get one.
Exactly. Hell yeah. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening. We'll touch base with you again here as soon as there's some new news to talk about. Later, Jer.
Later.
We're here. We're still here.
We are still here.